Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt! The Dork Lords. We are here today talking about Episode 5, Season 1 of the Disney Plus Star Wars show, The Acolyte. The episode entitled Night, coming after Episode 4's title, Day.
Wait.
Day
Look at that. Look at they do.
All right, very good. All right, we open where we left off at the end of Episode 4. Big lightsaber duel in the woods. Osha wakes up from having been thrown and knocked unconscious by the dark side master. He is systematically killing the Jedi in particularly violent ways.
Sure.
We end with almost everyone dead. May knocks out Osha again. I mean, you know, concussions do add up. I'll just say that over time. Like, woo! No, she's fine. She's just been knocked out 8 times. Oh.
Yeah, it's not like she's a football player or anything.
Right, yeah. May then dramatically cuts her hair with a lightsaber and takes Osha's clothes. Disguised as Osha, she convinces an injured Saul to escape back to the ship with her. The dark side master, who is revealed to be Chimere, finds the still unconscious Osha. So she's been out for a while. I mean, this is a major traumatic brain injury. Yeah. So he finds her, suggesting that Osha and May will at least temporarily switch masters, perhaps. Anyway, all that said, Paul.
Yes.
What'd you think of Episode 5?
Meh.
Okay.
You know,
good,
it's
good.
like
that sounds good.
You have an idea about. I think I've expressed a few times what I think when there's an abundance of action. You know, there was certainly a lot of fighting going on, and they were, you know, really establishing. You know, I like Manny Jacinto. I do, but I do not feel like they really established us knowing very much about him. You know, I wish they'd. Yes, they wanted us to believe he was a different type of person than he was. But if we had seen a little bit of, you know, what he thought about the world and the state of, you know, the Jedi, just a little more than we did, I'd have more of a sense of some motivations that he might have. Even though, yes, he would be pretending to be somebody else. Maybe that would have been nice. If he's going to be, you know, because, I mean, I do feel as if I kind of said that, oh, this Chimere was acting weird and running off and all that.
Yeah.
So
I had said that while it seemed certainly a possibility based on the fact that, oh, who's the one guy who's not in the picture, Chimere, I did say that, well, I thought some of the textual evidence maybe pointed against him being the master. One of those things for me was when he gets caught in the trap. And I'm like, would this Sith guy allow himself to be hanging upside down for the sake of the disguise? And so I thought maybe it wasn't him, but it was.
No, yeah, it was just like Yoda, you know, in Empire Strikes Back, where he pretends to be goofy.
Whoa! You gotta hit the droid with your cane.
That's right. Yeah. So that's what he should have done. He should have hit Osha's, you know, little droid thing with his cane. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines from the way that Yoda just does that little plaintive, oh, like, oh, there you go. Best line in Star Wars. All right, anyway.
I'll look for that on IMDb.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, so that's what I would have wanted. I don't think they did a good job with May changing her motivations every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a major issue that I had with this episode as well.
You know, so it's like, last episode, I'm going to turn myself into the Jedi. Oh, now it's that we pretend to be Osha and
it's a bizarre. It's not even one turn. It's a bizarre series of turns of changes of heart. So she wants to turn herself in. At the end of the last episode, she's like, I'm going to go and turn myself into Kelnaka. She shows up. Kelnaka's dead. Jecki shows up, tries to arrest her, doesn't try to kill her. She's like, you're under arrest.
Yes.
I'm putting handcuffs on you. No, they fight. She gets away. The master, Chimere, then tries to kill her multiple times, and she is saved by the Jedi each time. Mm-hmm. She then shoots Saul. She knocks out Osha. and then she replaces herself for Osha and is now seemingly in an effort to continue her mission. I don't know what the anyway. So it was like pick a lane, I guess.
Yeah. You would think. I mean, that Saul is appropriately fooled. Where if her objective was to kill him without, I guess maybe it's just like, how am I going to kill him without a weapon, though? I mean, I can kill him right here. Here's his back right in front of me.
I could stab him in the back.
No, I still got to, without a weapon.
I gotta make it look like an accident.
Even now, we still don't know what the significance of that is. Apparently,
Correct.
It's just this, extra credit or something that she's going to get. Something that'll appear on her transcripts. But
yeah, because one thought would be like, oh, you want it to look like an accident or something. That way, it doesn't get traced back to like a force wielder. Oh, you were stabbed by a lightsaber. That but that game's up, right? I mean, like you've already killed 3.
I thought it was possible it's some sort of mystic, if you kill somebody without a, then you'll really be powerful. But I think that supposes a caring master that wants, I thought the whole Sith thing was, you train somebody until they kill you. Like, so that's your thing, like,
right.
Why would you ever train anyone?
Yeah, I know, it is true. It's an
like
odd
they all
cycle.
Have death wishes where it's like, come on, like you get a whole bunch of tutors and then just lay down, kill me. We haven't learned how to do it yet. Fine.
It seems like in that context that the problem of like evil force wielders solves itself. You're like,
yes.
They all killed each other. Yay! I do think the show is attempting, I think in a clunky way, to push us towards, at least maybe for the end of season 1, that May is going to be on a Jedi trajectory, whereas Osha is now going to be under the tutelage somehow of Chimere and be on a Sith trajectory, maybe. Like they've switched them up. But they did it without really giving us good story reasons for that.
Yeah, no.
Basically.
I mean, I guess, the next episode, maybe we'll see Saul explain more. Maybe he'll be relieved of the need to be cryptic.
Surely though.
You tell him. Why don't you tell him? It's like, okay.
Right. There's always this like, look, when we get back, I'll tell you the story you wanted to. Oh no, something's happened.
Yeah.
Like he did that. He did that in the last episode where he's like, when we get back with May, I'll tell you. Then in this one, he's like, look, let me. Oh God, I got shot.
Yeah.
So it's the I don't know, one day to retirement.
Yeah, maybe, part of it is the whole, when I get back, I'll tell Puppet Head, or whatever his name is, about the Sith. And, he was killed.
Puppet Head, who are we talking about? Oh, yes, Mundi.
Yeah, looks like a puppet to me.
I mean, but surely Saul suspects Osha is May. I mean, surely he does. I mean, there's a lot. Plus, they've already built in a lot of ways that they could figure it out.
Sure.
May has no tattoo on her arm, which they showed again when Chimere turns Osha over. Like, see that tattoo? So they're like, he knows that she's Osha. But May has no tattoo. She probably won't recognize Pip, the little droid, the little boop, 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 which is coming back. Basil picked it up. So there'll be a little bit of an oddity there. Basil, I think, knows May's scent. There's even a shot where he's like sniffing, like, wait, that doesn't smell right.
Yep.
So he can figure it out. Anyway, so if indeed all those little factors were present, and it's like 2 months later, wait a minute. She's like in Coruscant, walking around, doing training, and somebody's like, that tattoo is anyway. So I'm assuming very soon there's going to be a I know you're May, and we'll figure out how that
probably
works itself out.
Hopefully. And they've been stringing along too many plot things. They they reveal that in this episode. So I mean, that Manny Jacinto was. They could have held that for longer.
But to your point. If this was a lightsaber combat demo, high marks. I mean, it did have some very cool fight choreography. the Jedi shish kebab where you like stab a Jedi and then force pull the second Jedi onto the blade, like woo. Which, by the way, force pulling an opponent onto your lightsaber sounds like a good strategy at any time. I'm like, why we haven't seen that more often? It's got a good idea.
It doesn't seem as if people have. We even seen anybody be able to resist a force pull or push? It's like it seems like that's obviously going to work.
It's true for a long time. Like if you think back to like the original series, I remember the first time that I was seeing like the force push stuff. It was like Darth is fighting Luke. And he starts using telekinesis to like hit Luke with a bunch of items.
Right,
like, punk,
right,
punk,
sure.
punk, punk. Yeah. And so in my mind, I thought, he can only do inanimate objects. Like he can't move a person. That was kind of my internal logic on that.
Oh, you fool.
But that changed over time, obviously. I would say yes, right? Like a force user of some note probably can resist being pulled, if I had to guess. But,
okay, we'll see.
Maybe. But then there's also Chimere does the triple tap bump, bump, bump on Jecki, where we just see out of her back. Like he's like, I've seen people recover from these jiggly lights. You're not recovering from this. Take that. No obscure death for you.
Yeah, I mean, I give them credit for, those characters are fairly important, and so we just got rid of them. I did like those characters, so now I feel like it's up to them to make them replace, the show to make them, because to be honest with you, if I could have, Sal's not lighting up my world. I mean, clearly he's important to the story. It's making me kind of curious to go back and watch Squid Game. I mean, that whole everybody must die story is not especially, which is why I avoided it. But everybody was talking about it, so I think I got like 10 minutes into it and then gave up. But maybe I should give it another try.
Well, because everybody dies here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, including Yord, who gets neck snapped.
Right. No, I think he. I thought he. Oh, maybe he did. I thought he cut his throat.
I think he got neck snapped.
All right.
Which was kind of that was the forbidden move in when the stuntmen we would do our improvised action movies.
Ah, sure.
Because like we would do like little improvised fights, punch, 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 kick, kick, kick. But you didn't do because one tendency was like neck snaps are easy to like pretend to do, right? Like, oh look, I neck snapped you. But if you do that to like a major character, it's difficult to then have that character come back. Like that's a finishing move. That's not like I'm hurt in the arm. Oh, I can't. Like, you literally broke his spine, and he's supposed to like get up and solve the case or whatever. So yeah, they neck snapped Yord, and so that's we hardly knew you, Yord. And yeah, you're right though. They reduced. I mean, the cast. Sure, you've got some ancillary Jedi folks, a la Ki-Adi-Mundi, back in Coruscant. But for the most part, your cast is now 4 people and the little sniffy bloodhound thing. I mean, like that's kind of what you've dropped it back down to with 3 episodes to go in this season.
I don't know. Maybe we'll gain from them focusing on the characters that we have. I have my doubts, but well, yeah. I guess they should really devote more time. So maybe it's going to work out.
Another cool eye candy thing was this use from Legends, the Cortosis armor, which deactivates lightsabers when hit. That's what the helmet's made out of, and then I think Chimera also had these bracers. And so,
okay, I didn't. I was curious about what was going on.
Yeah, so there was a kind of they again utilize it in a creative way. Yord picks up Chimere's helmet. This is shortly before he gets neck snapped. I guess it's why he gets neck snapped, because Chimere would have preferred to just kill him with a lightsaber. But Yord picks up Chimere's helmet, blocks Chimere's lightsaber, which shorts out Chimere's lightsaber.
Interesting.
Then Yord tries to strike Chimere, hits his bracer, and that shorts out Yord's lightsaber. So they're like, we're both now just with little paperweights. And so Chimere neck snaps him. I'm like, oh. But it was a cool little effect. There was a suggestion, though, also that the helmet was like a Magneto-style helmet. Like it keeps Jedi from reading his mind. He was like, "Oh, right, I'd take off my helmet and let you read my mind, Professor X." So maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can't read someone's mind if they have the helmet on. Saul and Yord both say they remember Chimere. Now, is that just from that little poison shop incident a couple of days earlier where they ran into him?
Why would that be important?
I agreed. And why would they be like, "Oh, you from yesterday"? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be that shocking if, like, hey, the guy who was trying to give poison to May to kill Torben happens to be a guy who's helping her out here, who happens to be, more powerful than we thought. But you know what I mean? They wouldn't have been like a shock. What the implication is, hey, remember me from 16 years ago, Saul?
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yord I felt like Yord. Well, what do you mean?
Because he wasn't there 16 years ago.
Well, not on that little mission.
Now, how old? Let's assume Chimere is in some. Maybe he's got some life prolonging thing, and that could be a thing. But let's assume for a second, just a typical human being. How old would you think Chimere is in this moment? Would you say he's in his late 20s, maybe early 30s? Well, point being, there were no kids other than Osha and May at the Coven. So if he was there, age-wise, I'm wondering how that would match up.
Right. To me, that's why I'm thinking. That's why Yord knows him, because Osha goes back to the academy to learn, and so that's why Osha knows Yord, and Osha. So I'm thinking that this dude is another kid who was at the academy.
A kid who's at the academy. Okay, that makes more sense.
Although I think he might have been an older classmate, though, so maybe he was graduating around the time that they were starting. And so that's why he can train them, because he knows more. But he fell out, and so
there's that line that Yord says something like, "Hey, the Chimere can get into people's heads," and then Osha says, "My mom could do that," which sounds like they had some kind of a shared knowledge that maybe Chimere either learned from the mother or they both learned from a separate source. There's a strong implication, whatever. I've seen online people saying that they feel like the ultimate master has yet to be seen. Like, this guy's actually the apprentice trying to get his own apprentice, and that there is a step up, which could be something from canon or something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so
I guess we'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, or not when we don't. But I think what this thing is going with, because you mentioned Conehead, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and they brought him into this show. And now they've said, like, what we talked about last time was, is the problem just the nomenclature? But no, they're like Sith.
Yeah. You would know me as Sith. Okay, fine.
You would know me as Sith. Okay. So I think the idea behind the plot is that everybody dies, and so no one is able to explain that the Sith are around. Which I was already saying, I thought I'd matted Saul. That's, I think, even stronger version for that. But so do we think he's going to then die en route back? Like, is May going to kill him without a weapon on the way back, or does he get derailed somehow? Or anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your thought?
I don't know. I mean, I guess for the story to, I feel like
in order for the Sith to remain hidden.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like I wasn't that invested in whether or not these people were Sith. I'm not really invested in whether or not this holds to canon, basically.
Yeah. Agreed. So let's assume for a second Saul dies before he can explain about the Sith.
Okay.
How do the Jedi back in Coruscant explain the sudden violent deaths of an entire team of Jedi? I mean, are they just going to think the forest bugs got them, or do they?
Well, didn't they? Wasn't one of the things that Green Lady discussed was not telling the main Jedi Council? I thought it was like, we have to attend to this on our own. This whole thing. So
that's true.
Think they
the council would know.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to keep some of this from them. So maybe that's that compartmentalization is what keeps these events from triggering anything.
A smaller window of people to check on this. In other words. Like, it's fine. Okay.
It's like, did we ever get that report on? No, we never did. Oh well.
Yeah, I was wondering. Actually, I was supposed to have a luncheon with that Yord. I wonder where. Maybe I should call him up. Boop boop boop. Oh, that's right. We don't have phones. Never mind. Something that I thought was hinting at a plot element, but on this show, I'm not sure that it is. Was the continually showing various combatants landing on the forest floor with this orange pollen, and then the pollen would go poof around them, and then like we see Osha go poof, she trips, falls, and that's when she first sees the dead Jedi. And I'm just like, is that a story element? Is there some kind of hallucinogenic compound in this pollen? Is there? I don't know why that was focused on. It felt like it was focused on, like but to what end, I don't know, because I don't think it was hallucinogenic. They were several points of view from this. I guess they could all have been under a mass.
They were, no flying monkeys came along. No snow came down to alleviate the effects of the pollen. So right. I don't know.
They all had very itchy eyes, and So what did you think then? What was your general rating?
Yes.
Was?
I mean, 5.5. I mean,
5.5. I mean, for the choreography on display, I'm going to bump it up to a 6.
Okay.
I'll go 6 on it. Right. And it's probably maybe the strongest episode they've had so far. But again, not for any story reason. It's merely for the athletics involved and the whatever. So
yeah, I don't know. As much as I'm still liking Manny Jacinto's performance, but the whole reason for him to be a secret still does not feel like they established that. To the point where him telling May like, didn't you even think that it was possible that it was me? It's like, what did you gain from that? I just don't.
Yeah. I'll say this: he hit the free weights. Good on you. They've got a Sith gym because he was It's like, let me show you the gun. Welcome to the gun show. So May is with Saul. Osha is with Chimere. Mm-hmm. That will be how I assume we'll see some kind of the two of them play out those relationships in the next episode. Sure. And that's that. So we'll be back talking about episode 6. We'll also be talking about episode 3 of The House of the Dragon, and we're talking about The Lazarus Project.
Yes.
Come on back for all that. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
You're welcome.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.